Level 1. $0. Your child is born at 3:17 a.m. on a Thursday. You hold her for the first time and feel something you have never felt. Not love exactly, something sharper, the terror of knowing exactly what you cannot give her. You are 24. You make $26,000 a year. You have no savings and $1,800 in credit card debt. The hospital bill, even after Medicaid, is $900 you do not have, so you set up a payment plan before you leave the maternity ward. The baby is 3 days old, and the debt is already accruing. At this level, your child does not inherit money. She inherits your financial reality. The rent that takes 40% of your income, the car that breaks down every winter, the emergency fund that has never existed, the monthly calculation of which bill gets paid and which one waits. She does not learn this from a conversation. She learns it from the air in the house, the tension before payday, the relief after, the cycle that repeats every 2 weeks for 18 years. The average cost of raising a child to 18 is around $300,000. You will not spend $300,000. You will spend what you have, roughly $160,000 across 18 years, and the gap is not just money. It is the extracurricular that never happens, the tutor never hired, the college trip never taken, invisible to everyone except the child who grows up inside it. At 18, your daughter graduates high school. She does not get a graduation check. She gets a handshake and a reminder that the first student loan payment is due 6 months after she leaves, and she will leave with roughly $38,000 in debt if she goes, or enter the workforce at $14 an hour if she does not. Either way, the handoff is the same. Nothing. Not because you did not want to give her something, because the math never let you accumulate anything to give. And zero in America is not neutral. Zero is behind. Every advantage another child is born into is one yours will have to earn, fight for, or go without. And the distance from zero to the starting line is the distance she will spend her 20s running, not toward wealth, toward even. Level 2. $12,000. You are 46. Your daughter is 18. You make $48,000 a year, and you have $12,000 in savings, 22 years of careful living, of skipped vacations and kept cars, and the quiet discipline of never spending more than you earned. The $12,000 is not an inheritance. It is a launch. You give her $4,000 toward her first semester of community college. The other $8,000 stays because you are 46 and your retirement is not funded, and giving her everything now would mean becoming her financial burden in 20 years instead of her support today. At this level, your child inherits a partial start. The FAFSA calculates your expected contribution at $6,200 a year. You can pay maybe $2,000, and the difference is covered by loans your daughter takes out in her own name. She graduates at 22 with $28,000 in debt. The payment is $312 a month, and it will follow her until she is 34. She does not inherit wealth, and she does not inherit poverty. She inherits a position. She can go, but she will pay for it. She can launch, but the rocket has no second stage. She lands wherever she lands and builds from there. At this level, your child starts at negative $28,000, and negative $28,000 compared to zero is worse. But compared to the child who never went at all, it is better. The math at this level is comparative, and the comparison never stops. Level 3. $45,000. You are 51. Your son is 18. You make $92,000 a year, and you have $45,000 in a 529 college savings plan, the result of $100 a month contributed automatically since he was born. The market averaged 7%. The machine ran. It produced enough to cover 2 years of in-state tuition, or 4 years of community college with money left over. At this level, your child inherits something the children below him do not. Options that do not require debt. He can choose a school on fit, not price. He can graduate with $15,000 in loans instead of $38,000. a $160 payment that annoys him but does not define him. You also pay for the things the families below you cannot: the SAT prep course, the travel soccer team, the summer program at the state university, the orthodontics, the used car at 17. Each is a line item. Each, in a family making $30,000, simply does not exist. The difference accumulated over 18 years is not visible in any single moment. It is visible in the person your son becomes, the confidence, the network, the unspoken assumption that he belongs in rooms that children from the levels below have to convince themselves they belong in. At this level, your child starts at slightly below zero, a manageable debt, a partial launch, not wealthy, not desperate, squarely in the middle, and the middle, at 22, is a gift most people do not recognize, because the middle is invisible from both above and below. Level 4, $180,000. You are 53. Your daughter is 18. You have $120,000 in a 529 plan and $60,000 in a brokerage account earmarked not for your retirement, for her. College is covered. All 4 years, room and board, the study abroad semester in Barcelona, the unpaid internship in New York the summer after junior year that you subsidize because it pays in connections, and the connections are the point. At this level, your child inherits a debt-free launch. She graduates at 22 with 0 student loans, a degree, and a network, the kind that comes from internships parents at the lower levels cannot afford to subsidize. She has a car you bought outright and a security deposit on her first apartment you wrote without calculating the cost. But she does not inherit the house, and she does not inherit a trust. She inherits the platform, and the platform, at 22, is worth more than any single check. It means she can take the lower-paying job in the field she wants instead of the higher-paying one in the field she does not. It means she saves for a down payment at 25 instead of 35. It means the compound curve starts working in her direction a decade earlier than it started in yours. At this level, your child starts at a true 0, not a negative, not a 0 with asterisks. 0 with an education, 0 with a network, 0 with a decade of a network, 0 with a decade of compounding ahead of her and no debt dragging the curve down. This is what advantage actually looks like. Not a check, a head start, and the head start, measured over a lifetime, is worth roughly $400,000 in accelerated net worth compared to the child who started at negative $28,000. Your daughter will never see that number, but she will live inside it. Level 5, $240,000. You are 55. Your son is 18. College was fully funded before he was born. The 529 was front-loaded with $75,000 when he was 6 months old and has compounded untouched for 17 years. It now holds roughly $240,000. It is more than enough. At this level, the money conversations you have with your son are not about cost. They are about value. Which school is the right fit, not the right price? Which major aligns with his interests, not his earning potential? These are optimization questions, and the distance between optimization and survival is the distance between the bottom of this ladder and here. He graduates debt-free. He also graduates with a brokerage account you funded at birth, $10,000 in a broad stock fund, small slices of hundreds of real companies, untouched and reinvested, now worth roughly $38,000. It is his. He does not need it, and not needing it, knowing it is there and letting it grow, is his first real lesson in wealth. At 25, you help him with the down payment on a condo, a $60,000 check. He covers the rest from savings he has because he graduated debt-free, took a job that paid $75,000, and banked $1,500 a month because he could, math that is only straightforward for people with no debt. At this level, your child inherits more than money. He inherits time. The decade between 22 and 32 when the curve is steepest and the contributions matter most. You funded that decade for him. The machine will run for him the way it ran for you, and by 40, it will be making more than his salary. He will not remember the check. He will remember the absence of pressure, and the absence of pressure at this level is the most expensive thing you can give a child. Level 6. $1 million to $3 million. You are 58. Your daughter is 18. She has never thought about money, not because you told her not to, but because the systems around her absorbed every financial question before it reached her. The 529 was overfunded. The trust was established when she was 3. The estate plan is updated every 5 years by a firm that charges $800 an hour and earns it. At this level, your child inherits a structure. The trust pays for education, all of it, private school through graduate school if she wants. The trust pays for a first home, bought outright or with a mortgage, so small relative to her assets that the payment is invisible. The trust pays for the gap between what she earns and what she needs, indefinitely, for as long as the gap exists. She will graduate, work a few years, start a company, or join a firm, or travel and figure it out. And the figuring out period is funded. A funded figuring out period is the rarest childhood gift in America, rarer than intelligence or talent or work ethic. Most people spend their 20s sprinting towards stability. She can walk. She will inherit somewhere between $1 million and $3 million when you die, and it will not change her life because her life was already built on the foundation the inheritance only formalizes. The money will be a transfer of title, not of circumstance, and the circumstance was transferred the day she was born, so quietly she never heard it happen. Level 7, $10 million plus. You are 64. Your son is 18, and he is the 4th generation of significant wealth. The family office manages assets across 3 trusts, 2 foundations, and a portfolio spanning public equities, private investments, real estate in 4 states, and a charitable vehicle that gives away roughly $400,000 a year to causes the family votes on. At this level, your child inherits something that looks less like money and more like an institution, one with rules, governance, and an understanding passed down that the wealth is not for spending. It is for continuity. The continuity is the point. Your son will attend a university where the name matters and graduate into a network built before he was born. He will spend his 20s working, not because he needs the salary, but because the family expects him to understand work before he inherits authority. And the authority, when it transfers, will transfer not as a check, but as a role. Trustee, board member, steward of assets that represent the accumulated decisions of 3 generations who did not sell, did not splinter, did not let the dynasty break. He will inherit more than he can spend, and he has always known it. The question for him is not whether the money runs out. It will not. The question is what the money is for, and the answer is the family, not its consumption, its continuation. At this level, your child does not start at 0. Your child does not start. Your child arrives, and the arrival was arranged before he was born. You think about the person you were at 24, holding a newborn at 3:17 a.m., terrified of what you could not give her. That person built the first dollar of this. They did not know what they were building. They just kept going, and the machine ran for 70 years, and it is still running, and your son, at 18, does not have to ask what it is for. He already knows. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope it gave you something worth keeping. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.